But now to the scathing attack on Prime Minister Anthony Albanese from one of the nation's most successful businessmen. Franchise king Jim Penman of Jim's Mowing fame has launched a new radical plan to remake the lives of thousands of battered franchisees across the country, claiming the Prime Minister doesn't understand the harsh realities of small business life. He says, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know the effects of what you're doing. You don't understand what a small franchisee actually is. You don't know how they think. You don't know much money they've got, and you don't know anything about them. Well, I'm pleased to say Jim Penman joins me now. Jim, welcome. You've invited the PM to spend a day working as a franchisee. Why was that?
Because I'd like him to have some idea of what it really means to be in a small business. The trouble is, dear Prime Minister, hasn't got a clue. He's never actually had a proper job. He's always been in and out of politics, and he just doesn't know when he makes these regulations and these rules and these principles what effect it has on us.
G'day, legends. Picture this. A bloke who spent 35 years teaching Australians how to mow lawns for a living just looked at the Prime Minister and basically said, "Mate, you wouldn't know a profit margin if it ran you over with a whippersnipper." That bloke is Jim Penman, founder of Jim's Mowing, and he's not just talking anymore, he's running for office. Stick around because this one gets spicy. Quick favour, if you're loving this breakdown, let me see you hit that subscribe button. Over 90% of viewers haven't yet. Please do. It's free, takes a second, and means the world to us. Thanks if you did. Now, back to the show.
Jim, have you heard anything from the Prime Minister? Did he like this sort of I know it was a jovial invitation, but what was his response? Have you heard anything?
Well, total zero, of course. I don't expect him to respond. It'd be great if he did, and if he had some idea of what went on. Look, you got to keep it. Even myself, I haven't been a mowing contractor for some time now, but I still talk on a daily basis with my franchisees and my franchisors, so I know what they're thinking. He doesn't have a clue. He really doesn't know.
And that is the trouble with a lot of the Labor frontbenchers, is that they haven't really had careers outside of the world of politics. So just spell it out for us, some of the pressures that business operators are really facing at the moment, because we are seeing record insolvencies at the moment in this country.
Well, I think one thing the government can and should do something about is the rising tide of red tape. It's just gone beyond belief, the kind of stuff that we're throwing at us all the time, and it just gets worse almost by the week. I mean, it's not just in the service industry, it's in building, it's in hospitality, it's everywhere. They just throw more and more regulations at us and don't understand that you've got to spend time actually dealing with these things and costs. Franchising is a perfect example. You've got these, you've got these thousands and thousands of dollars that you've got to spend preparing contracts with disclosure documents that nobody ever reads. They're full of legalistic jargon. Even lawyers can't understand them. I've only ever known 2 franchisees who ever read our disclosure document, and yet we have to spend so much time and get all this. Oh, it's just beyond belief that it gets worse and worse. We're actually not so badly off because we sign 1,200 franchises a year, so we automate the whole process. But it costs the typical franchisee thousands of dollars just to get a contract and get it checked out because they're so obscenely complicated.
Well, one of the things that you do want to abolish is the ACCC franchise code. What impact will this have for businesses?
So here's the guts of it. Penman has been officially endorsed by the Libertarian Party to contest the seat of Northcote against Labor's Cat Theophanous at the Victorian state election in November. And his opening pitch is savage. He reckons Anthony Albanese, and honestly most of the Labor frontbench, have never run a business, never made payroll, never laying awake wondering how to pay the electricity bill before the invoices come in. Think of it like asking someone who's never driven a car to design the road rules. Sounds fine on paper, turns into a pile-up in practice. Now let's talk actual policy, because Penman isn't just chucking rocks, he's got a slingshot with a plan attached. His biggest target is the ACCC franchise code, that mountain of legal paperwork every franchisor has to hand new operators. Penman says it's so dense even lawyers get lost in it, and franchisees are forking out thousands just to have someone translate it into English. His fix? Scrap the compliance paperwork and instead run anonymous independent surveys of franchisees every year, published publicly online. No cost to government, funded by the franchisors themselves. Basically, instead of drowning businesses in fine print, let sunlight and reputation do the policing. Bad franchisors get outed, good ones get bragging rights. Simple.
Look, what we need, having regulations that say that franchisors have got to do the right things is good. Like this business with 7-Eleven, where they take away their business after 10 years with no chance to sell. That is absolutely obscene. How on earth can any government with any ounce of conscience think that the benefits of these international greedy, I don't even have words to describe them, matter more than the welfare of ordinary Australians? It's just terrible. Nobody should be able to do a thing like that. So there should be clear laws holding franchisors responsible for treating people decently. But what we really need, what we do within Jim's group, what we do is we survey our franchisees every year anonymously, confidentially. Nobody knows. Their franchisor doesn't know what the answer is. And then we publicly post these. And franchisors who do badly get under a lot of pressure. And those who do well get recognised. We give them awards. Now, why couldn't the government do the same thing? Get an independent marketing agency to poll franchisees, every franchisee once a year, franchisor's expense, cost the government nothing, and post all the results on their website. And everybody who wants to buy a franchise can look at that website and then they can see all the garbage things that the poor franchisors have done. That would put so much pressure on them. Because if they treat people badly, they wouldn't be able to get a franchise. Now, I have said this every time they've had an inquiry. I've said the same thing. This legalistic stuff you're doing will not work, will not protect anybody. You need to cast the light of people looking at what you're doing. And then you'll get ethical franchising.
Now, Jim, before I let you go, I need to talk to you about what your new career is. You're running as a Libertarian candidate in the upcoming Victorian state election for the seat of Northcote. Tell us, have you been hitting the pavement? You're doing door knocking? I mean, people probably get a pleasant surprise when you're at their front door.
No, not much door knocking, mostly social media. I'm pretty active. My big thing is zoning. Zoning is just a horror. We've got these zoning regulations which force up the price of housing. With a reasonable estimate, houses should cost about half what they do in capital cities. And you can build houses much more cost effectively if you take away some of the stupid regulations and you allow proper subdivision of land so people can build what they want, where they want, and live where they want to. So in the inner city, you have more dense, more like terrace houses and so forth. Let people build what they want and let the rents come down and the prices come down. At the moment, we've got a system where the government artificially restricts building, forces up the price of housing, which is great for the multi-millionaires who have multiple properties. But it's pretty bad for the poor sods who are trying to rent or who are trying to buy into the market.
But wait, there's more, because Penman's second obsession is even bigger: housing. He argues zoning laws are quietly doubling the price of homes in our capital cities. And that's not an accident. It's artificial scarcity dressed up as urban planning. Loosen the restrictions, let density happen where it makes sense, and suddenly rents and prices actually breathe. Think of zoning laws like a nightclub bouncer who only lets in one guest per hour while 300 people queue outside. Of course prices go through the roof.
And before I let you go, what has the feedback been like for you on the ground? Because you are running in a strong Labor seat. Can you see yourself causing an upset win?
I don't think I'll win. Seriously.
Well, I'm glad you're out there giving it a try, though, Jim.
Yes, I'll do my best. At least push the idea forward. Maybe if they give me a few votes, people look at it and say, well, this idiot, this Jim, who goes for this radical, change of zoning, he got a few votes. Maybe we should listen to him.
Well, I love it. Full of great ideas.
Does Penman think he'll actually win Northcote, a seat that's been red for generations? Not really. He's playing the long game, hoping to drag deregulation and housing affordability into the spotlight, whether he wins or not. Thank you for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.